any other job, teaching is a demanding profession, and teacher well-being is just as important as that of pupils. Now, studies have shown positive relationship between teachers' motivation and the performance of pupils at school. But how can teachers ensure that their mental well-being doesn't spill over into the classroom? That's if they're in a bad state. Well, intimacy and well-being specialist Kate Tregenrow joining us this morning to talk about this. Kate, a very good morning. And as the child of two teachers, well, they're retired now, but growing up in a household where I had parents, as both of them were teachers, I can certainly attest to the stressful situations that they have to deal with. Why this focus, though? Why have you decided to bring this to the fore at this time, particularly focusing on what our teachers are actually going through it? Well, not just during COVID-19, that's come with its own challenges, but ordinarily just the teaching profession.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Teacher well-being has been my focus even pre-COVID, and I think what's happened during this time is that we've seen the need for it. You know, it's really highlighted now. Teachers, their profession is one of service. So they give and often put their own needs, their students' needs above their own. And I firmly believe that this needs to shift. And I think if we're going to come out of this time that we've been in, our teachers need to be well. They need to be rested. They need to feel motivated. And if they don't, like you mentioned, there's going to be a huge impact on the students, not only this year, but going into next year.
But surely now where we are at the moment, Kate, I mean, that's tenfold, considering we have teachers now who have to go back. They're worried about their health, those who haven't been there. They're also trying to deal with making sure that our children are safe in that environment, in a classroom with social distancing, all the rules and restrictions as well. How do they even begin to navigate this, worrying about their health, worrying about another person's child's health as well, and getting the actual job done?
You know, it sounds like an impossible question, you know, when you put it that way. It is extremely tricky, and frank and honest conversations need to happen, and also teachers, like all of us, need to be or are invited to learn more about what's going on for them, to navigate their boundaries a bit better. So we all struggle, okay, I'm being assumptive here, but most of us struggle with putting down clear boundaries, particularly when we're stressed. And when there's so much uncertainty in the world and in our situation and lots of anxiety, it becomes so important to notice what is going on inside so we can make wise and healthy choices. Otherwise, we end up in a spin of just doing and not really pausing to take care of ourselves or even of another.
So what are the things? I mean, you've mentioned those things, and it's not really possible for every single teacher to be able to take that time out. I mean, you leave a classroom of kids, many go home to their own kids and their own communities where they have other things to do. How do you separate the two as well? How do you separate your personal from what you have to do in the classroom?
Sure. I've had many conversations with teachers, and they say that they find it very difficult to leave school at school because there's a relationship with the children that they teach, which means there's an emotional investment. And I don't know about you, but when there's an emotional investment in a relationship, it becomes very difficult to just leave it. And so this is where growing the skill sets come in. Knowing when to say no. Knowing how to take that time out. You said something there which is really interesting, which was the fact that there is no space for self-care. And that's, I think, a perception that needs to change as a starting point. It's not an easy one to change, but that's where we need to go. There is time for self-care. In fact, we need to make time for self-care.
Kate, very, 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 very quickly, if I can urge you, what can we as parents do to make our teachers' lives easier?
I think build honest, communicative relationships with your teachers. What's going on? What's hard? What's working? How can you work together as a team to support each other and your kids?
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks very much there. Well, the mental well-being of our teachers is so important, especially in the times we're living in at the moment. We need to pay attention.